Hey there YouTube, welcome to JT Picks, and today I pick Jon Bellion's comeback album, Father Figure. Jon Bellion is an amazingly talented songwriter and, dare I say, musical genius. His production and writing skills have shaped the current musical landscape. If you don't know who Jon Bellion is, just look at some of the songs he's written, and then you'll be like, oh. This is what's led him to get the name I've heard a few times, your artist's favorite artist. He normally produces only top-notch music, emphasis on the normally. Since his last album, there's been 7 years in between both of them. So there's a lot of expectations around this project. Is it like past albums? Is it better? I'd say a hard no to the first question, and a straight up yes to the second. Of course, that's a subjective take, and I'm about to expand on it. There are a few criticisms that this album has already received from super Bellion fans. One of them is its mainstream sound, which I actually prefer. To me, this makes this album more replayable and accessible than past Bellion projects. His older works can be very intellectual. They make the listener work hard to find its purposes. That's not a bad thing per se, but here it causes me to gravitate towards this project because it strikes the perfect balance between an intellectual and mainstream quality. The chances of me revisiting songs from this album are greater than me revisiting songs from older works because of one, of course, recency bias, but two, and more importantly, the appeal and familiar techniques and song structures. One that is touched on by die-hard Bellion Reddit fans is repetition in songs. To me, this is the album's way of not letting you forget its hooks and verses. I also love the production on the album. It leans towards being pretty minimalistic, something that's used to elevate and highlight certain moments in songs. For example, the title track uses many different sounds, but it tends to isolate them, allowing them to build into the powerful moment. Another moment like this is the vocal cut to Kids on Rich and Broke. It may be a simple addition, but the first thought was my kids. But it adds a detached depth to that specific word, reminding the listener of what someone who has chased riches gave up to do so. The minimalist production is extremely evident on the opening track, Horoscope, which sounds heavenly by the way. Why? The second half of Get It Right, and Wash 2, which is a pretty good song despite my better instincts for songs like this. Moreover, its characteristics are felt on Kid Again, Wash, Father Figure, Don't Shoot, and Rich and Broke. These tracks may not immediately register the feeling of minimalism, but they build using one sound at a time, or they teeter between overwhelming and underwhelming the ears to underscore certain themes of songs. But nowhere is this minimalism more apparent than Italia Breeze, a Kanye-esque track that has Jon rap over a 4-minute laid-back instrumental. Another thing that this album does perfectly, is the narrative. Every song relates to family, whether that's through heritage, like in Italia Breeze, marriage or love, like in Oblivious, Wash, or Get It Right, raising children, like in My Boy, which does have a heritage element in it, so does Don't Shoot and Why, or the value of family and its protection, stuff like Modern Times, Rich and Broke, Father Figure. Some of these songs, like Don't Shoot, share themes, by the way. Every track can successfully be tied back to this theme surrounding family. Even the seemingly pointless interlude of Vinny's Artichokes, which, while I don't love it, and I still won't give it full points, I won't dock many points because I'll stand on principle and will recognize that it's not too long and it's entertaining enough. This focus is done so well by this album that by the time anyone listens to the final track, if they don't cry or at least get watery eyes, something must be wrong with that person. Now, even with all these positives, I must stress that this is not a perfect album. That said, after grading it, it got an exact score of 8.75, which is a specific score of 8.8, which is a general grade of 9 out of 10. Hence, you have my rating of the album. The album gets a 9 out of 10. I ended up rounding upwards because of Bellion's powerful countercultural message, one that highlighted bringing back the family, its flaws and all, to the forefront of culture, which I don't know about you, but to me, that's a very Christian ideal, and one that can never be forgotten. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and remember, there's only two things I know. I know that Jesus is king, and that JT, moi, knows best. See you guys next time.